Hi, a very big hello to all my students of DRS International School, and today is day 2 of your yoga practice at home. Did you start practicing the poses which I taught you yesterday? Tadasana and Vrikshasana. So that would have been roughly about 5 minutes of yoga practice at home. Today I'm going to teach you 2 new asanas. So totally it will become a 10-minute practice for yoga at home. There was also a yoga philosophy which I taught you yesterday. Annam nanindayat tada vratam. So have you started thinking about it? Have you started getting it into your mind? And are you beginning to slowly, stop criticizing and stop inciting your food that, oh, this is like this, ठंडा है, गरम है, ये ऐसा है, नमक ज़्यादा है, इसमें ये ज़्यादा है, मैं ये नहीं खाऊंगी, ये मुझे पसंद नहीं है. I hope you are slowly starting to get rid of that negative behavior towards food. Annam nanindayat. Stop insulting your food. Stop humiliating your food. Be grateful for the food on your plate. So, along with that philosophy which we learned yesterday, along with Tadasana, let me show it to you once again in case you need a quick revision. So, you stand nice and tall, feet together, and of course, your toes are nicely spread out, arms by your side. Shoulder blades squeezed in together. Chest is nice and wide and open. Your spine is perfectly straight and erect. You're standing nice and tall and strong. Absolutely. With once again, watch my toes. My toes are nicely spread out so that you can see each and every toe, which is wide spread. Widely spread out toes, arms by your side, shoulders down and relaxed. Spine erect, the entire body is relaxed and your neck is nice and long. This is Tadasana. So I want you to be able to stay in Tadasana with your eyes closed without losing your balance for at least a minute. Then we practiced Vrikshasana yesterday. So I hope you are beginning to practice Vrikshasana. A quick revision for that. You want to be able to bend one leg. Let me come a little to the side. You want to bend one leg first. Keep the knee out in front of you. And if I'm bending my left leg, yesterday I showed you the pose with the right leg. Today it is with the left leg. And you come onto the ball of your left foot. After that, you open out your leg. So you are opening out the leg so that the inner thigh is visible. And you can see that as I'm opening out my leg and as my inner left thigh is visible, you can also see the shape of my foot, the curvature. So if we bring the camera closer to this foot over here, you can see that my left bent leg is supported on the ball of my left foot. You can see the beautiful arch of my foot. From there, I'm going to lift my leg, grab it by the ankle, and then place it against the inner right thigh. Now let's take the camera away so that my whole body is visible to my students. I'm standing nice and tall with my body completely supported on my right leg. My left leg is bent, left knee is out, and my left foot is firmly placed against the inner right thigh. Then I showed you 4 different positions for Vrikshasana. Position 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's repeat it one last time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lovely. So I hope you have been practicing these poses because today I'm going to teach you 2 more poses. The first pose which I'm going to teach you is the triangle or the Trikonasana. You have done it with me in the atrium, but let's learn it with the right technique again today. So you start with your feet together. Always remember, students, for any standing pose in yoga, the starting is always done with Tadasana. So you want your foundation to be strong. Once again, if we bring the camera close to my feet, you can see how I'm trying to spread out my toes so that you can see each and every toe of mine separately. You can even see the white marble which is there underneath my feet. The white marble is visible. All the toes are separated from each other and they are visible separately. My toes are widely spread out. Now let's come back to my entire body. I'm standing in Tadasana once again. From here, I'm going to slightly bend my knees. Bring my hands in front of my chest like that. And I'm going to gently jump or hop into a wide stance. That's it. So you want the distance between both your feet to be roughly 3 to 4 feet apart depending on your height and the length of your legs. Now remember, when you are standing in this position, again check your posture. You want your shoulders to be relaxed and down. Both the hands, palms facing down in front of your chest. Both the elbows are up. Don't go like that. I don't want you to crunch your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down. Again, check your tummy. Check your abdominal muscles. Keep your core engaged. Check your glutes. Check your hips again. I told you yesterday that even in Tadasana, when you are standing in Tadasana, you have to squeeze your hips together. Squeeze your glutes together so that your hips are nice and tight and firm. So you want to squeeze your hips in once again while you are standing in this wide stance. So come back to this position. Now, what is the science behind any yoga pose? In yoga, whenever we do any pose, children, always remember, it is all a game of opposing forces. So we apply opposing forces to create a strong foundation in the body. Now, when you are standing in this pose, you can see my inner thighs. So I'm spreading my inner thighs out. My inner thighs are going away from each other in the outward direction. But at the same time, my outer thighs, I'm going to use my outer thighs and they are going to work really hard to provide a balancing force against my inner thighs. So, although my inner thighs are going out and away from each other, I'm spreading my inner thighs away from each other. I'm also squeezing my outer thighs really hard to provide a balance to my inner thighs. My outer thighs are squeezing and they're working hard to provide an opposing force to my inner thighs, which are stretching in the outward direction. So that's how you're going to stand with your abs nicely controlled and your glutes or your hips nicely squeezed and your hands in this position with the palms facing down. From here, you open out your elbows, extending both the arms out, palms still facing down. Now, what happens in Trikonasana? Now, you remember, in Vrikshasana, we were bending one of our knees. For example, if I show you this pose with my left leg right here, let's get the camera slightly close to my left leg. So in Vrikshasana, if you remember, I was bending my knee. Let's show the knee to the children. I was bending my knee, and when I was bending the knee, obviously my foot was going onto the ball. But here it's going to be opposite. Instead of placing my foot down on the ground so that the ball of the foot is on the ground, instead of doing that, I'm going to stand with my leg completely extended. But let's focus on the foot again. Let's keep the camera on the foot. I'm going to lift my foot from the toes, keeping my foot on my heel, and rotate out the leg in the outward direction and then place my foot down. Now let's get the camera on top of my left foot. You can once again see how my toes are nicely spread out. Let's get the camera on top of my foot. You can see how my toes are nicely spread out. You can see each and every toe of mine. And you can also see the marble in between all the toes. So children, I want you to stand with your toes like this. Now let's come back to my standing position by taking the camera all the way back. So this is my position. I'm almost ready to perform the triangle. I'm ready to perform the Trikonasana now. So from here, keeping my abs engaged and keeping my chest absolutely nice and open, It's like you're lifting a baby. How do you lift a baby or a child? By placing your hands underneath their armpits. So imagine that somebody is trying to lift you like a baby by placing their hands underneath your armpits. When they do that, or when you do that to yourself, what is going to happen is that your chest is going to lift up and it's going to become wide and nicely opened. You want to do that. From here, taking your arms out, extending both the arms at shoulder level, palms facing down. You want to stretch your entire torso or your upper body out. You want to stretch it out in the left direction. This is my left, so you are going to mirror me. From here, working from my hip joint, I'm going to stretch my entire upper body in the left direction as if somebody is pulling me, as if somebody is holding me from that hand and trying to pull me to the left side, and I'm going to stretch, stretch, stretch. From here, after stretching, keeping my chest nice and open towards the camera, my whole chest, the whole thorax, the spine is twisting or rotating to open out my chest towards the camera. Now, the most common mistake which students make is, collapsing their chest. When the chest starts to collapse and face the ground, collapsing is wrong. Keep your arms where they are, fully extended, and instead of collapsing the chest, you have to twist your spine, twist your thorax, and open out the chest so that it's visible to the camera. From there, going all the way down and placing the hand on the ankle, the other arm going up. Now you can try to twist your neck further and look at the fingers right here, or if you want, you can just look straight ahead of you. But children, when you are in Trikonasana, make sure that your chest is nice and wide and open towards the camera. Like I can face you right now. So your chest needs to be open towards the wall in front of you. Just stay there. If you are flexible, you can keep your hand on the ankle, or if you can't do that, you can keep your hand on the thigh. If you can go further down, you can keep your hand on the knee or the shin or the ankle right there. And the other arm stays all the way up with the fingers of that arm pointing towards the ceiling. You can try to look at those fingers by twisting your neck, twisting your torso, twisting your abdomen so that the chest and your midriff are completely twisted out and open to the camera or in front of you. From there, you can slowly come back. Bring your foot back to the forward position with the toes pointing in the forward direction. Both the feet of my legs are parallel to each other. Bringing both the hands closer to each other by folding the elbows in once again, flexing the arms, palms facing down again. So now you can fold your elbows. Slowly bend your knees slightly and either bring your feet together, or from this position you can just jump back to the standing position. Take your elbows, open out your elbows, open out the arms, palms facing down, and bring them down. This is your vrikshasana. This is your triangle or the Trikonasana. So my dear students, that was your triangle pose or Trikonasana. A lot of benefits of this pose. A lot of you keep asking me, ma'am, I have back pain or sciatica, acidity, bloating. This is a great pose to address all these ailments and to get rid of them. Now the next pose, extended side angle stretch, or we also call it as Parsvakonasana. So how to do it? It is basically nothing but an extended variation of the triangle pose or the modification of the triangle pose. So once again, now this time I'm going to show this pose on the right side because that's what we call as balancing. So once again, you start in Tadasana, feet together, toes nice and wide, nicely spread out. From here, bending your knees slightly and bringing your hands close to your chest again, palms facing down, elbows are bent, elbows are up at shoulder level on either side. From here, you jump out again. But always remember, if you have any knee pain or ankle pain, if your mom or your nani or nana, dada, dadi, anybody has knee pain or ankle pain, they can just come back to the standing position and from there bend their knees and just spread out their feet and come into this starting position for either Trikonasana or Parsvakonasana. Now from here, once again, if we can just get the camera onto my right foot this time, and once again open out the foot and place my toes down nice and wide again, so that you can once again see the marble in between my toes and how my toes can be seen separately. From here, I'm just going to bend my right knee. And how am I going to bend it? You can see I'm bending it, bending it, bending it, bending it, bending it, till there is a perfect 90-degree angle at my knee joint. So this part of the leg is vertical to the ground, and this thigh of mine is almost parallel to the ground. Now all of you know, especially my physical education students know, that these are the hamstrings right here. These are the quadriceps. Now in yoga, when you do this pose, you want to bring your quadriceps towards your body, and your hamstrings have to go out and away from your body. So the hamstrings are getting pulled in the outward direction according to the movement of my hand, and the quadriceps are getting pulled in towards your body as I'm moving my hand. So quadriceps bahar jayega, hamstrings andar ki or aayenge. From here, let's get the camera back to my body. Let's take the camera quickly to my other foot over here. Now this foot is kept on the ground in such a way that the toes are pointing in the forward direction. But if you want, you can just slightly bring the toes inward. From here, you can just slightly and very gently bring the toes slightly on the inner side. Slightly on the inner side. What I mean by the inner side is the side of your body. So you can just gently orient these toes of the other leg towards the other foot of the body. So now let's get the camera back to my entire body. This is my starting position. Once again, my abs are working really hard. My core is nicely engaged. Once again, you can place your hands underneath your own armpits and literally lift yourself up. Literally lift your chest up so that your chest is nicely lifted. It is wide and open. Both the arms out. From this position, you will open out your elbows, extending both the arms out in the opposite directions, palms facing down. And once again, starting from the hip joint, starting from the pelvis right here where my hands are, and keeping my hips square. So in this position with my right knee bent, you want to squeeze your right glute or your right hip and push it forward in the forward direction, and you want to push the left hip in the backward direction so that both the hips are nice and square towards the camera as I'm talking to you. Now check the position of the front knee again, opening out the arms, working from the pelvis, stretching your torso as if somebody is holding my hand from here and trying to pull me and going down and down. Now stop here, working from the pelvis, pushing the whole torso in the right direction, arms out, and from here going down and down and down, placing this other hand down and looking all the way up. Stay there for at least 15 to 30 seconds. Also remember to open out that chest nice and wide, looking at the other hand, the fingers of the other hand pointing towards the ceiling. And slowly coming back, extending both the legs, bringing both the feet to a neutral position with both the feet parallel to each other, the toes of both the feet pointing in the forward direction, arms out, bending both the knees and bringing both the feet together, arms coming down. This is your extended side angle pose or Parsvakonasana. This is your yoga practice for day 2. What did we learn today? Trikonasana or the triangle pose, Parsvakonasana or the extended side angle pose. These are another 5 minutes added to your yoga practice. Now it has become a total of 10 minutes of yoga practice at home, which is great for your overall health, strength, flexibility and body balance, for a great foundation of your body, as well as these are going to be the foundational poses for your practice and performance on the 21st of June, which is the International Day of Yoga 2020. So you will be done with day 2 when you practice day 1 first and then followed by day 2. So I want you to start your yoga practice today with Tadasana first and foremost, followed by Vrikshasana, then followed by the two poses which you have learned today. The first is the triangle and the second is the extended side angle stretch. So it's a very simple but a very effective 10-minute yoga practice which you can do right in the comfort and the safety of your homes, either alone or with your family members. But it's good for everything and it's good for everyone in your family. So that's about yoga. Now let's come to philosophy for today. What is the philosophy for today? So this second philosophy which I want to share with all of you today also comes from the Upanishads, and it goes something like this. Just listen to it carefully. Annam na parichakshit tada vratam. Let me repeat it for you. Listen to it carefully. Annam na parichakshit tada vratam. Never refuse food. So when you go to somebody's house, when you go and visit your friend and they offer you something, don't say no. Take just a little bit. Even if you don't like that food item, don't say a no right in the beginning. Take a small piece, take a bite, and that's it. Because when you do that, when you share food with them, when you share food with your guests, they feel that you are a part of them. You are a part of their friends, you are a part of their family, and they feel good. Sharing creates a feeling of mutual care and happiness. Similarly, when somebody comes to your house as a guest, as an esteemed guest, you should be the ones to offer them something as dignified hosts. इसीलिए जब आपके घर पे कोई आता है और आप उन्हें पानी तक नहीं पूछते, so they feel very insulted. Why does that happen? Where does it come from? It is coming from the Upanishads. Annam na parichakshit tadavratam. So you want to make sure that you never say a no to food, never refuse food, even when it is a case of a food item which you don't like, which is not your favorite. Don't just say no, 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 auntie, no, uncle, I don't like it, I don't want it. Don't do that. Just graciously and thankfully accept a small bite, a small piece. And you should also offer food or water when somebody comes to your house. Because all these gestures of sharing and kindness, create create a feeling of happiness, create a feeling of friendliness, create a feeling of love and compassion in the atmosphere around you. All around you, people start feeling that they are loved more, they are cared for more. So when you share your food with somebody, automatically the person in front of you starts to feel that you are their friend, that you care for them, and they start to feel happy. And naturally, this small act of sharing then becomes very instrumental. It becomes like an effective tool in spreading happiness all around. So when somebody visits you at your home, you are the host, and it is your responsibility as a host to keep your guest happy. Make your guest feel special and loved. And the best way to do that is to offer them food. Similarly, when you go and visit somebody, then you are the guest. And then it becomes that specific host's prime responsibility to make you happy and feel more special and cared for. And they can also do it by sharing their food with you. So, what's the philosophy behind this? Well, the philosophy behind this is very simple, and it goes like this. Yoga believes, the Upanishads believe that Annam is also present in water. Or, in other words, water is also considered to be Annam or food. Similarly, fire is also considered to be Annam. And similarly, in the same fashion, water and fire are considered to be interdependent on each other. Just like the previous philosophy, the other philosophy which I taught you yesterday. Annam nanindayat tadavratam. According to that previous philosophy, my dear students, your body and the prana which resides in your body are also interdependent on each other. But the relationship between them or the harmony between them is brought about by annam or food. And out here, for today's philosophy, annam na parichakshita tada vratam, the same interdependency principle is followed. Yoga believes that water is also considered to be annam or food. Yoga also believes that fire is also considered to be annam or food. And both water and fire are interdependent on each other. But the relationship or the harmony between fire and water is established by annam or food. So that interdependence between water and fire is established or brought about by annam or food. What does that mean in real life? How can we implement this in real life? Well, you must have observed that when you have not eaten for a prolonged period of time, when you have not eaten anything for long hours, you start to get all worked up and you become angry, irritated, all fired up in your head. Or the calmness or the calming effect which is brought about by water kind of begins to leave you. And you must have also observed that when you have not eaten for long periods of time or when there are long gaps in between meals, and if a small kid, has those long gaps in between his or her meals, he or she starts to howl and yell and cry loudly because they can't bear the heaty effect or the fiery effect which gets created in their stomach when they have not eaten for long periods of time. So, what is fire? I'm talking about the excessive fire or the excessive heat, the acidic heat which is generated in your belly, in your stomach when you have not eaten for a long period of time. And when a kid has to go through that, when a child has to suffer from that acidic heat in his or her tummy, when he or she has not eaten food for a long period of time, when a child has to suffer from that or has to go through that, he or she starts to cry loudly because a kid cannot tolerate that acidic heat in the body. If it is a teenager tends to become more irritated or angry because teenagers don't know how to deal with it. If it is an adult, then the adult suffers from constipation. So, all these problems start to erupt in life when you have not eaten for a long period of time. So, my dear students, always eat on time. Listen to and also respect the hunger signals of your body. Don't go for prolonged or extended periods of time without having eaten anything at all. And always make sure that in a span of an entire day, you are not creating these terribly long gaps between meals. Because if you do that, then the fire in your belly will go up. And there will be terrible acidic heat in your stomach, which you may not be able to tolerate. And then you will become angry, and then you may become irritable, and then I'm sure that not many people around you are going to like that, isn't it? So never refuse your food. Always eat your food. Never say no to your food. Because I want you to remember that all our dada dadis and nana nanis, jitne bhi hamare bade buzurg the, they always used to offer food, share food. They always used to offer water. They always used to share water. So believe in that philosophy and accept and follow that philosophy in your life. Because when you do that, only then you will be able to truly accept and enjoy the additional benefits of yoga, the other benefits of yoga, such as emotional and spiritual upliftment. If you follow these philosophies, along with the yoga poses which I'm teaching you these days, right up to 21st of June 2020. If you follow these philosophies in your life as well, only then you will be able to truly enjoy and relish the other benefits of yoga, such as emotional and spiritual upliftment. Otherwise, this practice of yoga will only get limited to having a thin, flexible body. And you don't want that. You want more than that, because yoga is very ambitious by nature. Yoga has a very ambitious approach towards fitness. So let us all accept yoga in its entirety, in its totality, with all the benefits, all the physical, mental, emotional, and the spiritual benefits that it has to offer. Let us make that promise to each other, and above all, let us make that promise to ourselves on this auspicious occasion of International Yoga Day 2020. And the promise is this, that we are going to try our best, we are going to try to the best of our ability to accept yoga in its total form, with all the physical, mental, emotional, and the spiritual benefits. And you can relish all these benefits if you follow the philosophies of yoga in your life also, and not just the yoga poses. So having said that, I would like to wrap up this video for today. Just follow these yogic philosophies along with me. Yoga is very ambitious towards the achievement of fitness, and we can achieve maximum benefits from yoga. We can enjoy all the different benefits which yoga has to offer if we accept yoga in its totality, if we accept yoga in all its glory and in all its beauty. So having said that, thank you so much for watching this video today. Thank you so much for having taken out the time to practice yoga along with me. Thank you so much for learning these yogic philosophies along with me. Keep up your yogic practice, and I'm going to see you once again tomorrow, which is 21st of June 2020, on the occasion of International Day of Yoga. And together, collectively, we are going to practice yoga, pranayam, and do some meditation, get in touch with our inner selves, and collectively enjoy and relish and witness the power and the glory of yoga. Stay at home, stay safe, and be good. God bless you, and of course, I love you all.